podcast.
We all need sleep, you know, it's a hard time. We are here today at the Roseville Target parking lot to stand up for democracy and to call on Target to publicly do the same, just as we're all doing here today on this Saturday morning. Target has let us down. Boo. They let us down when they donated $1 billion to the Trump administration last year. They let us down when they cut their diversity and equity work. And they let us down during Operation Metro Surge. Does anyone remember where ICE and DHS staged many of their raids?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in various Target parking lots. That's why we're here today. And you know, this location is the first Target store that opened. And what better place to be than where it all started for Target Corporation and to remind them where they came from and who built them. That's us, the Minnesotan community. And to remind them what they say that they stand for. So if you look at Target's commitments on their website, here's what it says. We're dedicated to being a good neighbor and working with our communities and partners to make life better everywhere we do business. Is letting your employee, that's so interesting. Is letting violent federal agents stage in your parking lot, quote, working with communities? Yeah, I don't think so. Is letting your employees get dragged out of your store while they're working and be abducted and abused being a good neighbor? No. Absolutely not. Is staying silent while the fascist administration attacks our civil rights, our voting rights, our rights to liberty and happiness, making life better for communities everywhere? No. No, it is not. So we are calling on Target to sign the Business Pledge for Democracy, to stand up for our neighbors and to protect our communities like the leader that they say that they are. Democracies cannot function when people's voices are silenced. Corporations have a responsibility to stand up when our democratic principles are under attack. You'll hear from two incredible speakers today, from a student and an educator, about what's at stake for them and why we're here. So let me introduce Amia, a student, local student.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Amia Morrow and I am a proud senior at Highland Park Senior High School in St. Paul, Minnesota. I have the honor of serving as Student Council President and as a member of National Honor Society and Secretary of our Black Student Union. Today I'm not just here to speak as a student leader. I'm here as someone who has grown up in Minnesota's public schools through some of the most defining moments in our state's history. When people talk about our public education, they usually talk about test scores, funding, or graduation rates. But to me, public education has always been about the people. It's about whether every student feels like they belong, whether they feel safe enough to walk through the front doors, whether someone believes they matter. I've spent my entire life in St. Paul Public Schools. When I was younger, I attended J.J. Hill Montessori. That's where I first knew Mr. Phil, Philando Castile. To many people, he's a name in the news or a headline in history. To us, he was someone who greeted students with kindness, someone who knew kids by name, someone who made school feel like a place where you belonged. His death changed our community forever. Then just a few years later, George Floyd was murdered, just miles from where I lived. My generation has grown up watching our communities grieve, protest, heal, and continue fighting for justice. Then came COVID. School became computer screens, friends disappeared from classrooms, teachers somehow found ways to keep teaching while checking on students' mental health, making sure families had meals, and reminding us that we still mattered even through a screen. Just when we thought life was becoming normal again, many immigrant families in our communities began living with fear because of increased immigration enforcement. I watched classmates become afraid to come to school, not because they didn't care about learning, because they were scared. Some worried about what could happen to their families, some worried they wouldn't make it home together. I remember giving friends rides so they could make it to school safely because they were afraid. No student should have to choose between getting an education and protecting the people they love. But I also remember something else. I remember the educators. I remember the volunteers. Every morning, people stood outside our schools, not because they had to, because they wanted students like me and students who looked like me to know they weren't alone. They greeted us with smiles. They stood outside in the cold. They reminded us that fear should be a place of learning, not fear. those moments mattered more than they probably realized. Because democracy isn't only something that happens every few years at the ballot box. Democracy is built every single day. It's built when teachers make sure every student has a voice in the classroom. It's built when a counselor refuses to let a student give up. It's built when volunteers show up before school, simply so kids feel safe walking inside the building. It's built when communities decide that every child, no matter the color of their skin, where they come from, what language they speak, or who they love, deserves dignity. That's what equity looks like. That's what democracy looks like. Equity isn't giving everyone the exact same thing. It's making sure every student has what they need to succeed. Because students don't all walk into school carrying the same burden. Some carry backpacks, some carry fear, some carry grief, some carry responsibilities far beyond their age. Public education has the power to help carry those burdens with them. As student council president, I've learned that leadership isn't about having the loudest voice. It's about making sure everyone else's voice can be heard too. That's exactly what public education should do. So today I want to say thank you to every educator who chose compassion, to every volunteer who stood outside of our schools, to every family member who kept believing in public education, to every student who kept showing up even when it was hard. And I want to challenge all of us. Let's continue building schools where every student feels safe, where every student belongs, where every student is seen. Because when we invest in public education, we're investing in something much bigger than just schools. I'm here today because public education believed in me. Now it's our turn to believe in it, to protect it, to strengthen it, and make sure every child who walks through those school doors knows they belong. Because when every child belongs, democracy is stronger. James Bolden once wrote, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." We're investing in the future of our communities. We're investing in equity. We're investing in one another, and ultimately, we're investing in democracy itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Amia. That was incredible. Now we'll hear from the incredible Marsha Howard.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Hello.
I am here on the grounds of Target, and I have yet to be arrested, although I have been trespassed from the last action, but I don't think it was at this branch. And I'm okay with the fact that I was trespassed, because I said then, and I'll say now, I'm boycotting anyway. All right. And we were boycotting and still boycotting Target simply because this is a corporation that I have given a lot of my money and time and energy to, because I've been a devoted customer of Target Corporation, hometown corporation, and yet it has not been the neighbor that it purported to be as of late. Has it? No. Not quite, right? And so when the challenge was laid forth by the lawyer, Dr. Nakima Armstrong, and by Black Lives Matter, to actually be accountable for how it engages with the corporation that has the flock cameras, how it engages with our judicial system, how it engages with the federal government, the same government that took its own employees and yanked them from the very corporation, the very building, and detained them, yanked them out of their property, and took them off premises. They have yet to account for that. And so we still remain in a national boycott of Target. Understand? And yet the door is still open to stay in relationship with this company if they choose to remain in relationship with us. But that comes with some conditions, yeah? They need to pledge to defend democracy. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, is it? Serge, I appreciate you because you started this with thinking about the values that Target Corps purports to hold. Being a good neighbor, making every community in which it is in better than what it was before they got there. And I don't think that Target can say that what has gone on in the Twin Cities is better than what it was before. My name is Marcia Howard. I am the president of Minneapolis Federation of Educators Local 59. I have been an English teacher in Minneapolis since 1998. And I would come and do my back to school shopping for my classroom and for my child at Target. But this year we are asking you to do your Target run somewhere else. Somewhere else. Right here we got school supplies for free, and the AFL-CIO has done a resolution that we're going to be shopping local unless Target changes their tune. Education Minnesota has said we're going to be shopping local unless Target changes their tune. The American Federation of Teachers said that we're going to be shopping local instead of Target unless Target changes their tune. Unless Target Corporation makes a pledge to defend democracy, we are not shopping at Target. Now, there are those who may argue that this is a corporation that they depend on for their groceries, for their household goods, for their clothing, for the way that they decompress after a long day at work. Because some of us have mindlessly gone through the aisles. I have too. And shopped. But I need you to think about the people who have walked the streets of the Twin Cities in fear. Those of us in education who have walked around our schools defending our students. Those of us who have been in gymnasiums and auditoriums packing food for families in hiding, who are sheltering in place. I want you to think about all of us who have had our lives materially disrupted by the powers that be from out east, and our hometown corporation were silent until pushed to the brink to do a milquetoast statement that did not go far enough. It did not go far enough. So we are saying, put your money and your power where your ethics are. Target, we are calling upon you to state that you will defend your ethics, your morals, your values, and your neighbors right here in the state of Minnesota. You are not just a company. You're not. You are not. We need to hold our hometown corporation accountable, just as we hold ourselves accountable. And school's in session. Hold up. Sorry. I'm gonna get real serious. It's just us, right? All right. I know some people are recording this, but I'm gonna get real with y'all. We live in a type of society where we shop and what we wear. I mean, I want y'all to all right now, if you are wearing a button or you're wearing a t-shirt with writing on the front, raise your hand. Hands down. We brand ourselves each and every day by what we wear, what logos we have on ourselves. We brand ourselves by the car that we drive, by the dog we adopt, and by the stores we go to. Some of us are Target consumers, and we'll go to Target before we'll go to, I'm not even gonna say. And our devotion, our loyalty to this particular company is because it was well earned. I ain't got no beef with that bullseye. You feel me? So when I say I'm holding it accountable, it's because of all the years and thousands of dollars I done spent in that building. You feel me? This is a mutual relationship. So I don't want to be in relationship with people who are okay with my neighbors being snatched up. You understand? I don't want to be in relationship with people who are okay with an administration that does not care about the democracy in which my people live in. Do you understand? I am 53 years old, and I am the first person in my family line that could vote when she turned 18. My mother went to segregated schools. I'm from Arkansas. You understand? I am from Arkansas. My mother went to segregated schools till she was in the 9th grade. I moved to Minnesota because I married a Marine he claimed he was from Minneapolis. He was from Apple Valley. I don't know why y'all suburbanites do that, but whatever. But I moved here because I studied this state, and there was something about it that I loved. It attracted me because there was something about it that I wanted to be a part of. I'm a graduate of the University of Minnesota. And I will wear a Gophers sweater any chance I get. Because again, I'm proud of the maroon and gold. I chose the high school that I taught at, Roseville, maroon and gold, so I didn't have to change the colors that I had. So I know about branding. But when I tell you right now how imperative it is that you do not take your foot off the gas or your foot off the neck of this corporation when you ask them to be accountable for this democracy right here. Because let me tell you this, Minnesota Constitution is one of the strongest ones in the entire nation when it comes to the protection of our citizens. And that is why them folks out east are still trying to mess with this state. It is not an accident. They hate us because we don't hate each other. Just yesterday, we had our sitting commander-in-chief tell us that he thought that a concerted hacking of municipal water systems was not by Iran, who we are currently at war with, but actually from the state of Minnesota. The fact that he thinks that the state of Minnesota is more of a ready threat than the country we are currently at war with. Listen. That's the type of power that a corporation in Minnesota wields right now. They do not have to bow down to that administration anymore. They need to understand that we are the fist inside of their glove and they can fight back.
Yeah.
They do not have to bow down to that administration. We try to fight with them. I don't want to be fighting them. They got a brand new CEO. That means he's got a fresh start. He got a fresh start. We will back him. If only he would stand strong.
Yeah.
Do the right thing, Target. Do the right thing. And there is only one right thing. Defend the people of Minnesota. Defend the people of the United States. Defend the Constitution. Defend democracy. And if all you care about is that dollar bill, then that is what we will withhold from you. Because if that's the only power you think you got, who's got the power?
We do.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
We have that power. You got economic power, and hey, we got a primary coming up. You got more power than you think, huh? Well, August 11th, November 3rd, y'all better show them you got some power. You got voting power, but I believe in a diversity of tactics. You got your money, you got your voting rights, you got your mouths, you got your feet. I'm still at George Floyd Square 6 years later. And let me tell you now, if you think actions like these don't make a difference, the second you run up on Target's property, what's the first thing they do? Is they call 911 to try to get the long arm of the law, which is an extension of the corporal body, to tell you to go away. That's why we all the way over here, almost in the street. If it didn't count, they wouldn't have moved us. We got the power to move too. And what we're trying to do is to move other customers to just step back and hold them accountable. Step back. Hold them responsible. Step back. Hold them in community. Because you can't be accountable to somebody you're not in community with. If they don't care, they won't care. So it's got to be all of us. Every car that's parked in that parking lot, you got to think twice. That's what we got to do. Your neighbors, they walk in, you see them coming in with a Target bag, just go on over to them and say, hey, let's talk. Don't shame nobody. I ain't never told nobody that I've ever made feel dumb or ashamed. Do not shame people. But you talk to them and say, hey, let's hold off for a little bit. Hold off. Trust and believe you can get your Dove body wash somewhere else. You sure can. But people's lives are on the line, and more, all of us are interconnected. We're either going to stand together or fall as a nation. And yeah, am I hinging a lot on Target? I am. There was a woman who sat on a bus and didn't get up. And other people stopped getting on a bus for over 300 days. Did it make a difference? Montgomery boycott? Did it make a bus boycott? Did it make a difference? Yeah. So don't let anybody tell you that this does not make a difference, because it does. So we're going to keep it up and keep the pressure on, because we have that power. Y'all are ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's hear it for our amazing speakers, Marsha and Amia. As we move into this next school year, it's clear there's a lot at stake for all of us. Amia said it right. A good school year starts with belonging. Students learn about democracy long before they vote. They learn it when everyone is welcomed and included. They learn it when people stand up for each other, just like Marsha said. They learn it when communities refuse to stay silent when something is wrong. During Operation Metro Surge, we know that children's education was severely disrupted. Schools were closed, people were terrified, uncertain, fearful, and those fears are not gone. ICE is still here, actively hurting our neighbors and our communities. So now's the time. Target has a choice to make. They could have stood with us then, but they must stand with us now. And we are building the work started by Makina Levy-Armstrong, the Racial Justice Network, and we are standing in solidarity with their call to boycott Target. So this back to school season, an ongoing boycott Target, and tell your friends to not shop here. We've got school supplies. We've got school supplies. Come and take them. We've got an alternative shopping list if you don't know where to go. If you tell your friends and your family why you think that Target should stand up for democracy and stand with community. We're asking Target to sign the Business for Democracy pledge to say that they will protect democracy this coming November and around our elections. We want them to uphold their commitments, and by publicly committing to protect all of our democratic freedoms that allow our communities to thrive. So I ask, which side are you on, Target? Will you be a good neighbor? Will you use your voice to stand up? Hey, Target, don't delay. Stand up, speak out right away.
Hey, Target, don't